8 o'clock and you're watching Let's Kill Twitter with me, Julian Hall. This is a show that aims to detox your timeline with the art of conversation. No easy task, but thankfully I don't have to trawl through Twitter alone. Joining me tonight we've got two fantastic guests, the comedians Steve Day and Caroline Mabey. And of course another fantastic comedian, my co-host Sajeela Kershi. Hello!
Hey.
Hello!
Hello.
Perfects hands to the right direction. How are you?
Oh God, it's good, isn't it? It's winter, isn't it? Not
Apparently.
long to Christmas. It's all
3
very
weeks
exciting.
to Christmas.
It's all
3 weeks.
3
to
weeks.
Christmas.
How did that
I
happen?
know. Well, I mean, I think that's too long. Personally, I'm like so ready. I'm so ready for it now. I've got my invite to the Downing Street Christmas party. I am well ready to go.
Oh, topical. See what you did there.
More
Straight
for
in there.
Yeah.
Straight in there. But yeah. But this year, hopefully, it'll be all legal and normal and fine. I've got my Christmas shopping done. Can you believe it?
That is incredible. I have to say, I'm quite jealous of that. I have got some of it done. I'm a bit behind. I think it's a bit. There is a sense of the slightly sort of cyclical sense this year in the sort of like, I know that we probably will have Christmas, it probably won't get cancelled, but it just feels so much like last year, because there's sort of doubt hanging over it and all the rest of it. And that's sort of reflected on Twitter in a way, in the sense that we've got a kind of rebooting of quite a lot of the similar sort of arguments. And I mean, we're never going to get, it's going to be quite hard to get away from those. It's just like new variant, same argument, I suppose.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. New variants, great arguments. The new variants, same arguments.
Yeah.
And in fact, obviously, the latest, in the polls of it's the Omicron.
We tried for pronouncing it last week and we still can't.
Omicron, which I didn't know was part of it's the Greek alphabet. They're going through the alphabet.
Oh yeah, totally. It's all sort of given over to the Greek. It's almost like Boris has actually named these variants. It's like who's the classic scholar behind this? I don't know.
I don't trust. I don't know what his children are called, but I don't. I bet.
I
don't know what names they picked for these kids, but not probably great. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't even remember the tweets I picked this week. I don't know. But obviously, not privy to your ones. Is there anything we've got just to sort of kick us off?
Well, I've got. Okay, so look, I'll tell you what. I'll kick off with mine briefly because there's two here, and then you can have a little scroll through and see.
Because I know our guests have got really juicy ones.
Oh
so
yeah.
You're going to get stuck in a minute with Caroline and
Yeah,
Steve.
totally. We're going to introduce them properly and then we'll get stuck in. Actually, before we do this, we should say that we're now streaming live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. Please do go and to our page on YouTube because that's where all of our previous shows and clips are. And it would be great if you gave us a subscribe on that. Equally, please do follow us on our Twitter account, LKTZoom, @LKTZoom, which you can see spread liberally across this screen. That means you can engage with us live during the show, and also the rest of the week we'll be putting clips of this show, news of the next show, and generally sharing as palatable collection of tweets as possible. I mean, they're not always palatable, but I like to say that. It makes me feel good. So I picked
palatable and
palatable and unpalatable.
And unpalatable. And a year. We've been a year old.
Yeah, I think that we might have passed that. Yeah, we've passed that mark now,
exciting.
haven't we? And still
Shall
here.
we bring our guests in then we can start on that tweets? What do you think?
Well, you're messing with the
program. I mean, I don't know because I just feel like they're waiting and they can chip in with your tweet that you got.
All right. Well, we need to. Yeah, but no. Hang on. You're messing with the program here. I'm not going to be. I'm going to be really quick because I did choose two tweets. So normally,
go on.
the issue I have. So I normally don't choose tweets that come from a news site because I always feel that is slightly cheating. But having said that, if it wasn't for Twitter, you would never read half of the stories that come from the websites of the newspapers. And I say newspapers loosely in one or two cases. So, for example, this one is one that I screenshot. Woman triggers family row after changing Netflix password. That's a story from the Independent, or the Indie 100 section of the Independent. As I've put here, students of history will be amazed that there were ever newspapers, and then they'll be amazed that the Independent was one of them. Sorry to have a dig, but that is not a story. And then the Liverpool Echo? Let's just have a look at this. It is the Liverpool Echo. First, so their story online, Louise Redknapp had a cup of coffee made for her by a male co-star as she sat in her pyjamas this morning. The 47-year-old shared a photo of herself looking content and sitting on a balcony in Plymouth. Louise is currently starring in 9 to 5 the musical, which is enjoying a run in the seaside town at the moment. I mean, come on, get a grip, people.
I love that they've got breaking on that. This is the breaking news. With everything happening in the world, that is the breaking news. But I'm gonna have to disagree with you at the Netflix. I think Netflix is somebody changing the password during this past year. Are you kidding me? That's a major crime.
Right, okay, all right. We'll have to beg to differ. Well, that's my soapbox done. Now, clearly you're itching to break.
I want to get the guest
tradition, and let's break with the guests. I don't like leaving them hanging too long either. Look, so let's do it. It's Steve Day and Caroline Mabey, and let's do the traditional fanfares and trumpets, as my old editor used to say at the Independent. Steve, I'm going to introduce Steve. You can introduce Caroline. Steve Day describes himself as Britain's only deaf comedian. If there are any others, he hasn't heard. For the past 11 years, Steve has been performing to huge laughter around the country and abroad. He's been described as warm and witty by the Scotsman and has received many other rave reviews whilst performing shows at the Edinburgh Fringe. For example, Chortle gave him 5 stars for Deffy's Island Discs, a show that the Sunday Times called funny and moving. The show then toured the UK and has been performed in several countries in Europe and translated into Italian, though no one knows why. A familiar voice on Radio 4, Steve has appeared many times on You and Yours and was the token man on Woman's Hour, and has appeared in 2 radio dramas, All Fingers and Thumbs with Bill Nighy and Sound Barriers with Patricia Routledge and Caroline Quentin. Woo! And then, are you introducing Caroline as well?
Yes, Caroline. Caroline, hello. Caroline Mabey, we started in the circuit many years ago together. She's one of the most inventive comic voices in Britain. Was back then, still is now, and she's at Caroline Mabey on Twitter if you want to follow her right now. She's a fringe and circuit favourite, appearing at festivals, theatres and clubs all around the country. Her act is silly, warm and sharp as hell, and Caroline's a brilliant and accomplished MC as well as being a stand-up comedian. She's been a resident compere at the infamous 99 Club for 10 years. She's recently appeared on Comedy Central as part of their performance anxiety campaign, and in before and after on NBC's digital comedy channel, CISO. She also is featured on our previous guest, Josh Howie's Losing It on BBC Radio 4, and has written for Radio 4's News Quiz. She supported Hal Cruttendon on tour. She's had 5 solo Edinburgh shows in her name. She's one half of the double act, The Two Stupids with Michael Legg, and co-hosts this popular Self-Renovators podcast. My God, you guys are busy with your careers, aren't you?
So let's please welcome them to the Zoom room. Hello, you're now live with us. Hello. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Impressive CVs, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I love hearing my 11-year-old biography.
I told you, didn't I? Guess what? It needs updating.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not the only deaf comedian.
Oh,
I'm on your case. I'm coming over here and taking your deaf comedian jobs now. Yeah, because you've been going on Women's Hour, taking our jobs.
That was I know. But they had what made me laugh. It was the lady in charge, and it was all female. It was fantastic. But they had a bloke doing the technical stuff.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Does that really make
like the only man? He was doing the equipment. So that's the BBC for you. It needs someone, wasn't it? He's retired now.
So how is life
Caroline,
back in the
what
world?
about you?
Yeah, sorry, on. We haven't got a script. You can tell, can't you?
It's called going live.
What?
Go on.
What's happening?
Caroline, we just wanted you to sort of tell us about your CV. Is that old or is that new?
Oh, yes, it's old, yes. I'm sure I've done more than 5 solo shows, so that dates it by a few years. Yeah, and there was the word recent in there, and it definitely wasn't recent.
No, okay. Do you know, I think we need to be running a sideline service where I basically just say, comedians, we'll rewrite your CVs and biogs. Absolutely. We'll do it live. We'll do it live on a workshop. I think we could earn some money that way, Sajeela. That's the way forward.
But you say that. I said that to Craig Dealey, who we had before. He's coming down to do my club, and I've said, I'll sit down and help him do his CV, because I just think you're absolutely onto something, Julian, and you heard it here
Yeah,
first.
CV services.
All
Forget
those
PR.
listening in, yes.
It's CV services
Yeah.
now.
Yes, that should be. Yeah, it should be part of the deal. We'll come on and talk about some tweets, and then you'll upgrade us on our websites. Because I guess like we could do each other's probably,
Yeah, maybe
but
that's
doing
where-
your own, writing your own.
That's true.
It
No,
is
that would work really well.
awful.
Who doesn't love live line by line corrections? So,
No, but it's a thing to write your own CV, because you've got to big yourself up, but then you feel awkward doing your own. Ooh, it's really like, oh, and Sajeela's done blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and it's just really cringeworthy.
Yeah.
But
Do you remember that dating website which was called
my
Something
single friend.
my
Single Friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said what you thought about them.
That's right. That's right.
We could do that for our CVs.
yeah.
My
think we
friend
should.
CV. My
That-
very
you-
funny comedian friend, Steve Day, is. Yeah, I think to be honest, you probably write your own better than I would write for you.
No, I can't. I can't do it. I hate the person I am on my Facebook comedian page. You know the page you're supposed to promote yourself. I hate
Yes.
that person. I hate him. You know,
Why,
like
what does he
this
do?
is me and nothing really, just self-promotion. I'll be appearing. Oh, shut up.
So you don't follow yourself on Facebook. So your personal Facebook isn't going to follow Showbiz Steve Facebook. It's like
Yeah.
totally blank each
And
other.
then you're supposed to have a page of self-promotion, aren't you? And I just write first sentence. I think, I hate this person. Hello.
That is-
Maybe
that-
you
that
should
is-
have that inner monologue or as your feed on your Facebook page. Steve Day. I hate myself. I hate Steve Day.
But I think Steve's got a point there, because I know what you mean. I don't like my online presence, and actually bringing it to online presences. Obviously, we just talked briefly about, just before the show, about your relationship with Twitter, and I know that Julian likes to know about how you engage with your online kind of, like, what is your presence on Twitter, Steve? Firstly, because I know you just said your own page on Facebook, you hate yourself. What's happening on Twitter? Do you have a moment where you might have?
No, it's sort of a mixture of jokes and personal stuff. It's hard to get balance. I try and be jokey. I mean, there's so much pain in there. There's so much fights, and I am not certain about anything. That everybody else seems to be about everything. If you know what I mean. I don't know. I'm not an expert. So we'll talk about that later. I don't know. I don't have an opinion. Why must I have an opinion? So, it's right joke. It's easier.
So that's what you do. So basically, you're just using it as jokes, not to show your opinions on anything.
Yeah, well, because I don't know. Yeah, but why should I have an opinion on something I've got no expertise in? I don't know most things. Most people don't know most things. But yeah, everybody seems to have an opinion. And these days, having a trenchant opinion seems to be more valued than being genuinely, not ignorant, but I'm not an expert. That's all.
You just don't have a strong opinion on anything. You just want to be
on nothing. But everybody seems to know everything about everything, don't they? And if you disagree with them, it's so binary. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an epidemiologist. I just believe the people who are more qualified, and I'm not an expert on climate change. I just believe the majority of people who are more qualified than I am.
Well, that's a valid and very good point to make. Caroline, I know you mentioned you don't really get Twitter, but
I don't know what Twitter is. I agree with Steve. Like, I don't.
Great show to be on.
No, this is why I've come to realise this is why we kind of want to set up for people like you, Caroline, because feels like one of those things that you can now talk about it. You don't have to talk about it on Twitter. You can sort of tackle it head on now.
What, my Twitter disability? Yeah. I have the same impulse as Steve, which is that I might have strong opinions, but I don't want to stand by them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to have a fight about them. So what I end up doing is, I'll look at things, and I'll look at somebody's strong opinion and I'll go, oh, I'm not sure about that. Let's see what everyone else thinks about it. And I'll read the entire thread of hundreds of people who I've got no connection to, and I will start feeling ill and sick listening to all their horrible opinions about, you know, anything from, you know, it's about the government, about trans issues, about J.K. Rowling, you know, all of this stuff. I will read everyone else's opinions, and I can feel my mental health is trickling away.
Yeah.
It is being sucked away just from reading it. And I'm not even tweeting anything. I'm just lurking around in this pit of horror, being hooked into these comments.
I think we're going through, because I said something earlier about it, sort of going through a cyclical time because of the sort of uncertainty over Christmas, even though I don't think it will be cancelled. But there seems to be almost like a repetition on Twitter. And I think there are quite a few days where I can look at Twitter and I actually feel that my sort of energy sort of ebbing away, although somehow I am still addicted to it. And I'm a huge Buffy fan, and there is this scene when Willow becomes Evil Willow and she kind of crumbles into the corner and says, "Oh, I can feel all the pain of the world." And it's like, yeah, welcome to Twitter. That is Twitter. But there is also something slightly... there may be also something slightly addictive about that sort of sadness as well. Oh, what horrible thought.
Yes. Perverted, I think is the word
it's the word I'm looking for. I do like, I've got my opinions, but I don't want to stand by them. I think you should put that on your Twitter.
That's beautiful.
You need to put that on your Twitter handle.
All right.
That should be your strap line for your next show.
Okay, this is good. So you're going to do my CV. Now you've fixed my Twitter.
Because Julian does make notes for Edinburgh shows.
Yeah, show notes.
Hang on, am I going to get charged at the end of this?
It's the only way we make money, Caroline. It's all the hidden.
But yeah, I don't think I've never had a popular tweet. I generally I retweet usually nice things, and sometimes angry political things, and then once a week I tweet about my own radio show.
That's quite restrained, actually, just the once a week.
That kind of sums up Twitter.
Because I'm scared of saying anything, and
but not on radio. That's okay. Not scared of saying anything on radio though.
Oh, well, you think I should tweet more often?
No, God, no.
Radio?
I think that's good, because I think the self-promotion sort of thing can be...
Yeah, nobody likes that.
No, there is a real... I mean, I overstepped the mark totally with this show, but that's usually because I've got maybe a couple of different clips to tweet or something. But yeah, it's a fine line, definitely. I do, Steve, it's very interesting what you said about not being an expert, but everybody wants to join in. I mean, it's a bit like voting. If we made voting... sort of only sort of, what do you call it, sort of conditional on being of a certain sort of level of education, then, you know, that wouldn't go so well. So, I mean, everyone just sort of, everyone does sort of, you know, are there times when you can't resist but wading in, or are you very cautious about it?
Who are you talking
Steve.
to?
Sorry, say again. No, sorry, I was miles away.
No, that's okay. I was just saying that there must be times when you think, "Oh, I'm not an expert, but I'm going to wade in anyway."
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, sometimes some people's internal reasoning is contradictory. You can always point that out. I mean, that's a logical mistake. That's not having an opinion about climate change. That's someone's arguing against themselves. That's always good fun. You know, at some point they're going to end up having to argue and be at odds with themselves. That's funny, put somebody in that position, I must admit. But it doesn't happen that often. And so you're just so bored with the person anyway after 2 tweets, you know, "Oh, shut up." But, you know what they say, that if you argue with someone ignorant, they bring you down to their level and then beat you with experience. And that's really true. I hate being in that position. So just don't get involved in the end.
Right,
honestly, just good joke.
We've collected a few notable quotables this evening. Well, you guys have really done us proud in terms of tweet selection, and I'm very conscious of shutting up now, so that we'll let your tweets do the talking. Where shall we go first? I'm wondering. Ooh. There are quite a few tweets on. Actually,
I like the nostalgia.
Oh well, I mean, look, there's a few tweets now on Boris that Caroline sort of picked out. So there's John Johnston's tweet. Do you want to read it out, Caroline, and then go into it?
How do you think John Johnston talks?
I don't know. It's higher pitched.
It's clear.
It sounds northern.
Downingstreet is the most secure building / street in the country. No one arrives uninvited or without the relevant security clearance. Every single person entering and leaving the building is counted in, then counted out. This is the easiest to solve crime ever.
And so I love it. That's the first time we've had a character tweet. Yes, big first. Ding, ding. And then we've also...
Was that Ray Winston?
That's his brother, Roy. Yeah. It's Roy Winston. We've also got, on the same subject, we've got Ellie's tweet. Feel free to pick a voice as appropriate.
Ellie says, thank you at BBC News for reporting that cats need to be microchipped, but can you ask at BBC Laura Kay if she attended a party at number 10 last year?
You'd make a great points of view.
I know.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Not so, says Mrs. G of Aberdeen, who says, I hate the BBC and everything on it.
So, Cam, what's your take on this then?
Well, I'm ashamed to say that most of where I get my news is via reading a tweet like this and then going, oh, okay, what's happening? And then reading more tweets about it, trying to piece the whole thing together. So what I end up doing is I know from all the tweets I've read, I know there was a party, or there was an alleged party.
I think we're pretty sure it's a party now, but yeah.
Yeah, but some people are still saying it's alleged. Some people are like still. I've read all the comments on these.
Yeah.
Some people are still defending them like, oh, it's nothing, and it's just mad. It's so mad. How do they get away with denying everything that they are clearly doing?
Anyone wants to answer me? Yeah, come on. We're here for answers.
I don't know where you start with that as an answer. Perhaps Steve, you might have an answer.
It's the Trump thing, isn't it? Just deny, and then if you deny it and repeat it so many times, enough idiots believe you that it kind of goes away. That's they learned all of this from that Steve Bannon fellow, and all the culture wars and all that. It all comes from that thing. Just deny it happened, and then say, well, it was so long ago, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but
it was a year ago.
But it does matter to people because there were people whose loved ones they hadn't seen for months who were dying in an emergency and A&E or whatever, and they couldn't see them. Where these types could just have a party and live it up and laugh at the rest of us is basically what they're doing. But they know that no one with there's no media going to kind of really, is there, that's going to contradict them? Not really, and they'll just hide it. Tied in the fridge and pretend it's not happening. In fact, they could have a part. If they had a party in a fridge, that would be totally them. Like a big fridge. Well, yeah.
But they've got footage of this fucking party, and you know what I mean. It could be on the news. The footage could be on the news, and they would still deny it.
I don't know if you watched PM questions last week, where a couple of backbenchers have raised this issue about, can the Prime Minister please explain, what happened at the party? And all he did was like, I think it's appalling. We're talking about the new variant and how to save lives and blah blah blah, and it just turned things completely like, let's poo-poo it. And any question he doesn't want to answer, he will just and I've noticed this seems to be quite popular for the right to get really shouty when they
no left-wing person's ever been shouty.
No, they do. But generally speaking, honestly, you watch Prime Minister questions. They get very, very shouty when they're trying to be defensive, or especially Boris does. Of course, a lefty,
No, I know, but I mean, the raucous backbenchers, I suppose. By the way, just because it was Keir Starmer that brought it up. I mean, he actually used his main question. Still getting confused for a Labour backbencher. Part of the problem, probably. But I mean, look, these tweets are interesting because look, this John Johnston one is bang on. There is going to be a record of people going in and out. It's a high security situation. The other tweet, is there any suggestion that I'm probably a bit behind on this? Is there a suggestion that Laura Kuenssberg was there? Because she always seems to get it in the neck. It says
there's lots of people on Twitter suggesting that she was there, or if she wasn't there, then she doesn't have the kind of relationship she claims to have with number 10.
I think she'll say she did pick up a twiglet, but she didn't inhale. And that's everybody's. Just go with that, basically. But I did not have sex with that twiglet.
I did think that it was a party that Boris Johnson. That has been made very clear that Boris Johnson wasn't in attendance, and there were lots of party games, which essentially sounds like it was a party for his kids. He wouldn't be there, and there'd be lots of games. But no,
in the tail on the. In the tail on the donkey or something.
Well, no, they probably broke rules by playing Twister.
Yeah.
You know, not obviously all the two. Yeah, I mean that's one game you can't play. Actually, did anyone pick up tweets on the snogging? I thought one of you guys might have picked up the snogging.
What, the party?
Yeah, I thought
at the games.
Snogging one, yeah,
no, there were tweets on.
Cautiously.
There are tweets on the whole thing. I mean, it's been slightly overtaken, I think, but there's.
I wonder if there's mistletoe at 10 Downing Street last Christmas,
I'm
which
sure
again would be, you know, dubious.
I'm sure they had a good game of in the crime on the immigrant or on the tail on the asylum seeker or something. They get the blame for everything. People would believe them as well.
Yes,
all blindfolded.
Probably won that one.
Oh, actually,
blindfolded. Yes.
So I'm wondering where to go next. Whether to sort of let's have a look, mix.
I mean, if you got.
Well, I'm just going to go to one of Steve's, and I'm going to go to
Jason.
Jason. Jason's.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Do you want to read that out, Steve? And
yes. This is my friend Jason. He's brilliant, by the way. But he said the moment when you Google a recipe, anticipating a list of ingredients and a method, only to find 8 pages of guff, which begins, "I was 5 when I first realised I had a fear of envelopes."
I love this.
Right at home to me, because we're coming towards our downtime as comedians. We've had 18 months of downtime, and I did load of projects. I started loads of things. The place to start with me is always a YouTube video. Like I took up cycling. You need to know how to mend your bike, you know, or you need some information. YouTube videos are brilliant. They're really brilliant. They never talk about what you want until about 8 minutes in. I know, right, here's how to mend your chain on your bike. I was divorced 4 years ago. Shut up! Go on with it. Every video, you can't. Otherwise, people are learning everything now from YouTube videos. I'm a bit of an expert in bikes, and there's no limit to this. You see, I think I can end up being a brain surgeon just by watching YouTube. I mended our washing machine, and I'm sorry to hear that the man's wife turned the weans against him. But anyway, fixed the washing machine because of YouTube videos, and it was brilliant. And for now, I think if you get as far as brain surgery and get a scalpel off Amazon, probably, or a second-hand one off eBay, I think I could do that. But they just go to, and a little bit about me. No, I don't want to know about. I want to know about the thing.
I thought
always like that.
I thought the online.
So this is why.
Yeah.
This is why the tweet exactly encapsulates that. We don't want to know, mate. People don't, they say, "Oh, here's my journey. Here's the journey I was on before I came to do this recipe for, I don't know, quiche or something."
I am 100% with you, Steve. I especially when it comes to cooking, I just want the sodding recipe. I just want the ingredients and how to do it. I don't want to hear your life story. I don't want to hear about when you went to Ibiza and you tried this dish first. I don't need to hear about your backstory. And similarly, YouTube, I mean, at least you can forward with YouTube. You can scroll with you, but like you have to wait for them to shut up. Like unblocking my toilet last week, and I had to go through sitting through literally their shit before I could clear out mine. Honestly, it was just, I totally 100% with you, Steve.
When you fast forward, you always get into an advert or something. Oh no, come on! And in your case, you've got the plunger in one hand and your phone in the other, and you're looking at an advert for like virtual private networks. It's like, get on with it.
And Steve,
I'm angry about this.
5 minutes ago, you were saying you don't have strong opinions about anything.
Yeah,
I do about that, not about everything. I said I don't have strong opinions.
You need to tweet clips of these and stick them on Twitter.
But to do YouTube, look, they tell me how to fix my bike. don't care about your kids. I don't care about you went to Colorado and it was life-changing.
Yeah. You need to do like director's commentary over these, even though you're not the director. Yes,
do that themselves. Hi, I'm John. Welcome to my workshop.
No, John, I don't want to hear it. I just want to fix it. Come on. All the way through 10 minutes of that. I'd watch that. Come on.
Oh, come on. This could go on your Facebook fan page and you might like yourself a bit more.
No,
this is just a giant life coaching session for all of us, isn't it?
It's a great tweet. It's at Nick Motown as well, just for our podcast listeners. Steve's channeling Mark Steele. That's Martin, a regular viewer of the show. Martin, who I haven't said hello to. I feel bad. Hello, Martin.
Hello, Martin. Hello, Martin.
Hello, Martin.
Tweet, Nick at Nick Motown is the handle if you want. I do get it. Sometimes if you Google something though, it will actually take you to the portion of the video that's relevant to what you want.
That's true.
But I find it even worse with articles though. So if you're sort of like Googling something about an iPhone or all the rest of it, it's exactly the same approach. It's like, yes, when iPhones were first invented in 2000 whatever, and it's just blah blah blah, and then you've got and then you've got to fend off the adverts as well. It's just like, it's so easy to lose interest, isn't it? Oh dear.
The problem is everyone's doing a TED talk before they get to the meat of the bones, really. But that was a great tweet. I suppose it's Caroline's turn now. What we got?
Let's have a look. Sorry, Martha's being funny.
I'm just trying to find one of mine as well.
Do you know what kind of fits in quite nicely is the floor one, I think, to that.
The floor one, let's do the floor one. And I love your 80s one. Oh, right. So, yes, tweet from at Jane Shemilt. Fire away.
Okay. This is where I stood 25 years ago, falling in love with a house I'd just met. 5 kids grew up here. We've had lambs in the kitchen, Christmases galore. Today, I'm hosting a writing retreat. It's still magical. So somebody I know retweeted this, and I was like, I don't know who Jane Shemilt is, and I do now because I've read all around this. Like I have got zero interest in this, but I'm like, oh. She bought that house 25 years ago. I didn't buy a house 25 years ago. Oh, she's had 5 children. I've only had 1 child. What's wrong with me? They've had lambs in the kitchen. And I haven't had any lambs in my kitchen. I've never had a lamb in Christmas. And then so just in these few sentences, she's building up this, this sort of perfect house and garden kind of life that I've never aspired to. But somehow I now spend an hour finding out who she is. She's a novelist. She's written loads of books. She recommends lots of other people's books on her Twitter stream. And it all seems wonderful. Like, how has she had time to have 5 kids and lambs and write all these books? And now she's hosting a writing retreat in her house. Okay, I'll stop.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Who has lamb for Christmas? She said, lambs in the kitchen, Christmas is galore. Turkey, maybe a goose or something.
She's a maverick.
It did me the impression that they cook lamb for Christmas.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like slamming the lamb. I've had lamb in the oven. We've all had lamb in the oven.
Exactly.
Unless you're a veggie.
I don't think that. I think it's like they've grown them. Surely, yeah. She's suckled lamb.
Oh, that was
I think they've been wandering in, basically.
And she's been feeding them and nurturing them when the mother was poorly. And
look how clean the floors are. That's what strikes me. So clean.
I've got to say, a black and white checkered floor does it for me every time. I love black and white checkered floor.
I mean, it's still magical.
Yeah.
It's still.
I can hear the lambs trotting across it right now.
Oh, yeah.
With different baby animals, you could do a kind of impromptu chess game.
Yes.
Or like a lamb could be the knight, and then 5 children could be pawns, sort of thing. Get some more kids, they could be, and then you could have various, and you could, or drafts. It could be simpler.
Steve, haven't you got 5 children?
I have, but we don't have lambs in the kitchen.
Is this anything to do with you?
I don't hang on
your
about
silence of your lambs.
Christmas is galore.
Not galore, no.
It's just a shame that she didn't have lambs when she took that photo, unless she saw someone at the side.
I want to see
God.
the lambs to shit on the black tiles, not the white ones, because it doesn't show up.
Lamb chess. New recipe lamb
Because they
chess.
do, right? Lambs poo. I'm pretty sure about it. If they're live, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's
We had
If you have
lambs in the kitchen at Christmas. So I've got nothing against Jane. I'm sure she's absolutely wonderful, and her books, I'm sure, are also delightful. It's more about how this sort of thing affects me, where I see this like tiny potted history of somebody, how they're presenting themselves, and I'm like, oh, my life doesn't resemble this.
Where am I going to get a lamb at short notice? That's
I need a lamb in my kitchen.
It's an agency, like, you know, like lamb car. You have to have a lamb wrangler, though, if it's a theatrical production. Arthur Smith did a thing, didn't he? Arthur Smith sings Leonard Cohen at Edinburgh, and he wanted a pigeon, a bird to sing, a duck, sing Bird on a Wire to. He had to pay for a duck wrangler to be in attendance. Edinburgh Council wouldn't give him a license unless he had a duck wrangler.
Oh,
No, that's fair enough, though. You can see all sorts could go wrong with a live duck in a stage show, while he's trying to tell stories and jokes, and someone's got to look after that duck. Someone's got to wrangle it, right?
Yeah. Is that one of the things then, Caroline, on social media, that if you kind of get a bit sort of lifestyle triggered? Because I'm totally with you. I lived in a place where I had a staircase and checkered floors. So I remember that. It was
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, I think it could be this picture, that house, and then the next day it would be something completely different, but I'd still feel like, oh, that's not what, it doesn't have, this has got a very specific kind of
vibe.
She's showing up. Is it a show-off thing? Is it? Or
well,
it's just.
I suppose it is, really, isn't it?
But I mean, it's no worse than, and that's what people do on Facebook and Instagram all the time, don't they? They just snapshot apparently, not that I'm on Insta, but they just snapshot their life, be it their dinners or their living room or whatever it might be. I don't know.
And surely that's what social media does. It's just, it's showing your best life. And I think that's what Caroline's feeling. I think it's a phenomenon. I don't know if they've got a word for it, but you find yourself in a little black, like what you did with her, and you spent 20 minutes, you said, looking, who is she? What is, where did we arrive at this photo? Haven't we all done that? Like just a random thing that you've got no interest in, but suddenly you end up for no reason clicking on one thing after another and after another. Now, ex-boyfriends, partners, you can, people we know, that seems feasible to do that, but to do it complete strangers, where we're just seeing a tweet that, or that kind of catches our eye. And Caroline, do you find that when you go down this rabbit hole, you feel like, I don't know, that you just, does it make you feel less than yourself, or is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah,
sure, definitely. Yeah, come on. I don't.
But we've all done it. We've all done it.
I also go on, Steve. Sorry.
Is it like every comedian does this, and they say something like, I was driving home I had a puncture on the way home from Nottingham, where I was closing the show. I was there Thursday, Friday and Saturday really well, sort of thing. So the whole story is just for them to say they were closing in Nottingham, but they don't want to sound like they're saying I was closing I was headlining. Or the other one they sort of say is, oh, just a quick question. What's the best parking space for Live at the Apollo? That's
but with this, I don't know which one is the boast. I mean, which is the thing that she really wants us to be? I mean, because they're all great.
But I mean, what comes from this is that she's obviously really happy.
Insecure.
Well, but then it's also a kind of like, you've got to be in a happy place to share. Well, I find that if I'm going to tweet, I've got to feel quite happy before I tweet, because just in case there is ever any sort of comeback, which there never is, I want to be in a good mood to do it. I mean, what I can't understand as a sort of, as an avowed miserabilist, is just how happy you have to be to tweet something like that in the first place.
I don't think she has to be happy. I think this is probably just a padding in between her trying to sell her book and sell her writing retreat. Maybe it's the writing retreat. She's trying to sell her writing retreat.
Well, yeah, of course.
That's fair enough. But I just think it's a bit insecurity in saying, I'm good, aren't I? Why don't I get more credit?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It looks like I don't know. Gosh, I think I might have come off less cynical on this one, but like the house, like the house.
I didn't want to be. I didn't really want. I want to be mean to Jane Shemilt.
Too late. Too late. You can't backtrack now. You have an opinion and stand by it, Caroline. Basically.
I told you I don't want to stand by any opinions.
That's all right. Don't worry.
Check out you two saying we don't have any opinions, and then having a load of them just now. Both of you, very, very. But I think you're both basically saying all the things that are part of Twitter. That is Twitter. You know, that is Twitter life. We've all done this. Stranger going to the, look around, what's happening.
Yeah,
I totally get it. We got another tweet.
We have. I'm just wondering because that was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. That tweet.
Yeah.
Hang on. Whose tweet was that? It was one of yours. Actually, Steve, you've got a very. Well, look. Actually, you were talking about comedians and what they were saying on stage. So, what about this one from Mick Ferry here?
Mick is a brilliant comedian, and this really made me laugh. Christmas has started early for comedians this year, with the awful audiences and no one listening, and you got everybody. So I'll read it out. I'll have to do Mancunian or Oldham, but because of tonight's crowd annoyed me, I Whamageddoned them. I played Last Christmas before I left the stage. Ha 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 ha. And
uncanny impression of Mick.
First, I think that's brilliant because what a way to get back at people who have been twats. The Christmas gigs, you get people who are teachers, or I was being heckled and hassled by a big table of women in Liverpool. It's years ago, and I asked them what they did. They were barristers. Just Christmas is, and Whamageddon is a thing because with the deafness, and I sort of out of the game. I could always win because I'd never hear it. I've got new hearing aids, and they're too good. And but I don't go in shops or anything. You'll get it somewhere. You just get a bit of Wham, and I like Wham though. But if you're playing the game, so last year it was December the 2nd. I haven't heard it this year, and that's because I'm not going anywhere. But it's a hard game. It's hard, isn't it? It's a hard game.
Well, there's no skill involved, really, is there?
No skill.
Yeah, but you could.
Is there?
In what?
You've got to do it.
In Whamageddon. In winning Whamageddon.
Yeah,
isn't it get into Christmas without hearing Last Christmas?
Yeah. I mean, you have to either like completely hermit yourself, which seems a bit over the top.
Self-isolation, because due to Whamageddon, yeah, that is over the top.
And otherwise, it's just going to suddenly pop at you somewhere.
I didn't even know it was still a thing. I didn't even know it was still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's bigger than ever now. I think.
Oh no way.
Christmas has come back with a vengeance because last year there wasn't Christmas. So Christmas started mid-November, didn't it? This year. I just thought it's beginning to look a lot like mid-November, and because people missed out last year, so they wanted like a double one. So Whamageddon is bigger now than never. So, and it's deaf people are, woo, we won, and we didn't hear it. But hearing aids is just a game changer. They're just rubbish. I hear loads of stuff. The other thing, I got a doorbell to know when people are at the door, which I never knew before. And it's really overrated, isn't it? Knowing when people are at the door. I'm bored of it already. I hate knowing. I was so happy.
I don't hear the door at all. I don't.
It's great, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't hear it at all. So I've loads of like, oh, we've left your parcel at so and so place. And I'm like, what do you mean? I've been home all day. I don't hear door. I don't have a door. I don't hear the phone ringing unless I've got my it's next to me. Hearing aids are on.
What? I mean, you've lived there 25 years. You've had lambs. You've had umpteen, but you haven't had a doorbell. No wonder you've got envy about what's her name.
I haven't got a doorbell, and I used to have a dog, and he would bark when people were at the door, and then we'd know. And now he died last year.
So
now we don't know when there are people at the door.
Wow. So no Amazon packages for you three, then basically.
Oh no! I'm
going back to Whamageddon. I heard that Ramesh Ranganathan started this game. Is that true? I don't know if that's an urban myth. Who started?
Come on, Martin.
Whamageddon?
Martin will know.
Martin will know. Come on, Martin.
What's sad about the dog now, though?
Google it, Martin. Find out.
Steve, I'm sorry, I told you about this before.
I know, but you reminded me. It's Bobby Goldsboro, isn't it? See the tree, how big it's grown. Honey, I miss you. There was a dog in that, wasn't there? Oh, see, you don't know that one. You're not old enough. There was a dog that he bought her on Christmas Eve, and and then she.
Oh, hello.
Died. He was so selfish.
To think we nearly missed that.
That's hilarious. On the kitchen floor.
That was better than the Turner Prize, Martin. Flipping heck. Well, right, now, what's going on here? We need... Caroline's 80s tweet. Yes, please. Hang on. Where are we?
You know, but Caroline, my 80s are my happy place, Caroline.
Yeah, totally. Right, so this is a Chinny Vision quote tweet on 80s kids. Go for it.
Okay. Oh, how do you do?
So do the original.
I'll do the 80s kid first.
Yeah.
There was no better feeling in the morning than sitting in front of one of these while getting ready for school. Chinny Vision says, no, it was awful. Stop this phone nostalgia for things that were demonstrably shit.
And just to clarify, it's a gas heater. The 3-4 bar, looks like a 4 grid. Oh God, I had these. Gas heater, and nostalgia for gas heaters. I mean, yeah, totally. I mean, I think I'm with Chinny Vision on this.
Yeah,
really. But
it's good to have a balanced, all the opinions represented.
I agree.
A balanced discussion on heaters that probably have all been condemned, I think. Now, I mean, there's
no better feeling than sitting in front of one of these. How do you get ready for school while sitting in front of a heater anyway? Surely.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are they doing? You get dressed, sitting.
It was.
This was the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they mean like
huddled around one of these.
They mean school uniform. If it was school uniform, the fire risk, with all that polyester.
Oh God, yes. In
That's
fact, that is what happened. My brother's trousers melted standing in front of the fireplace. Seriously, I remember this. This is a thing. And then one of these fireplaces I had when I was at university, this really old, nasty little like bedsit type place that I ended up being in for a while and got a chest infection. And I got what is it? The poisoning used to get if the gas.
Oh yeah.
The flu.
CO2 poisoning.
Yeah. So they weren't very safe.
No.
But I remember this. My brother's leg, it melted on his. He was standing in front of it.
Onto his leg. That sounds awful.
No, luckily he didn't get burned. It was just like he was just smelling the smell, and then it just turned around. It was just literally.
Who is
melted.
it that does the routine about being dressed in acrylic? I don't know if it's a Frank Skinner or might even be a Russell Howard. There's someone that does a routine about, oh God, it's going to annoy me now. I might even be Jeff, actually, my client, Jeff Norcott. But anyway, I mean, they are really warm. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, maybe that's sort of, it's like that ReadyBrek kids advert in the 80s. It's like that was presumably a kid that hadn't had ReadyBrek, just been in front of one of these and got radiated.
Yeah. They look like kids from Sellafield, don't they? With that radiation around them.
Yeah. And I never knew that was porridge. I just thought it looked really yummy. It looked like it was just melted, like something
like
delicious.
Your brother's trousers.
No.
Yeah. That's a real dog. Dog ate my homework. Yeah. The dog ate my homework, and I melted my trousers. Yeah.
No, the ReadyBrek looked nicer than it.
We had an electric one of those, not a gas, and a 3-bar thing.
Oh yeah.
Mostly it was the other part, the fan or whatever part, convection part. And if you put the bars on, they just smelt horrible. They got that smell of desperation, of Stevenage in the 1970s. The dust cap sort of gathered on the bars, and they just smelt awful and gave you poisoning. They didn't melt your trousers, but the other thing, because we had Draylon and we had vinyl, Brentford nylons, everything, and my dad had a comb over, and there was static, and the static would make his comb over became a sort of voltmeter. Honestly, like living in a Van de Graaff generator. with my dad's comb over. So how many watts were anyway?
God, the 80s were dangerous.
Was this?
I'm 70. I'm not 80.
No, I mean the 80s.
You're actually making it sound really good. I'm back with 80s kids about the brilliance of this heater now.
Did you have a series of these 80s as nostalgia thing? I thought I saw a couple more.
No, I don't think so.
No, if not, I have got a tweet. Let me just send it to you again. It's which might tie in with this in terms of nostalgia. And it's, hang on, I'm just going to send it.
By the way, while Sajeela's doing that, Martin says that Ramesh did tweak the rules in 2018 to Whamageddon, but it's been going in some form since at least 2010. So that's a long time. That is a long
Ramesh?
time. No, he tweeted the rules in 2018.
Just clarified
okay,
it.
sorry, I didn't hear that. All right, wow,
What's
2010. So it's so this is like one of the Twitter things that I love in the week. Is like the things that oh God, I can't think of the word now. That what are popular? What's the word?
Things that are popular.
Trend. They trend. Yeah, they trend.
Trending.
So for some reason, and every time I see a name that's trending, I think, oh my God, they've died. Oh no, not them. And I had that with Tom Hanks this week. But Tom Hanks was trending, and then a lot of people started talking about his films. And of course, somebody had written down, I talk a lot of shit for someone who cried when Tom Hanks lost Wilson. And there is a whole thread of people who agree with this. Do you remember Wilson from
Passed away, wasn't it?
Yes.
Is it the ball?
The ball.
Oh.
I've never seen it, but I know about it.
And it's like, Wilson. We all know that scene, right? Wilson. And those who cried and got upset that he had lost Wilson the ball, which was his only company on the island when he was stranded, and those who didn't. And does this make you a good person or a bad person? I'll be honest, I didn't actually cry, but it was sad because you believed that Wilson was this ball with had a soul. So in terms of nostalgia, that just came across accidentally because Tom Hanks for some reason was trending this week. It may be related to something a bit more serious, which maybe might be triggering for people in this panel, so we won't bring it up. No, I think it was to do with the Ghislaine Maxwell's case.
I saw he's in loads of things. He was in something on Apple TV the other day. Tom Hanks. He died. Sorry, spoiler alert.
He died?
No. I don't know. I don't know how the ending went.
Okay, not in real life. Okay, good.
It was a really good film, but I can't tell you how it ended.
He does good dying scenes, doesn't he, old Tom Hanks? Because he was great in Philadelphia. That was beautifully played.
Oh, you just ruined Philadelphia for me now.
Right, okay.
Spoiler alert.
Alerts, people. So stop giving out the way the plots here.
Right, we've got a couple of meaty. We've got two really meaty tweets that I feel like they're quite serious as well. Actually, never mind. Let's do. Well, actually, one of them is we can find a lighter side to it, but.
Okay.
Steve, you picked out this from EdMcConnell.
Mood change. I spent my Friday night on Facebook messaging people who laughed at the channel tragedy. This is the result. So the tweets this week, but the tragedy happened last weekend. And this is a journalist from Kent who, on the Kent Online live page, had a story on their Facebook page, and lots of people found it amusing and did the laugh emoji. And this man had, I couldn't do it, went in and asked those people why they'd done that. And the results are chilling, and think that we live in the same country. And I don't know how widespread this is, but I would guess probably worse than we would think that people can find. Their justification were all those things like, these people are all rapists, or they're all pedos, and when challenged had no information and just blocked the journalist or told them to fuck off or bog on mate and all this. And it's disgusting. Even if those things were true, find any humour in people dying. Those people who had the ingenuity and the determination and the guts to leave their home. By the way, they'd rather stay in the places they live. They'd rather stay in Syria. They've got a million miles. They've travelled across continents. Well, they deserve to die because they should have stopped in the first safe country they came to. But then if their languages are Arabic and English, they want to go to the first place they could get to where English was the language where they could at least be understood and build a life. And even if that wasn't the case, how could you find any reason to find that a good story, or even worse, a cheerful, something to make you laugh? I read it and it was hard reading. The poor man who did it, but it's a really good journalistic story because it shows something about us. I don't know if we were always like that or if that's something that's happened. I believe at the root of this, there are people who know better who encourage this sort of thing because it divides us and keeps those in power. Absolutely shocking. I would rather, if I was an employer, I'd rather have somebody who battled all the way here from somewhere, some terrorist, from Kurdistan or wherever. I'd rather have someone like that because they'd work. They'd be ingenious and get people who come here end up taxi drivers who are doctors because their qualifications are not recognised, and stuff like that, who've done this journey to risk lives to do that. I'm just absolutely dumbfounded by this.
It was an amazing bit of journalism, I think, because I just started the show talking about pieces of journalism that were like throwaway rubbish journalism about, I don't know, Louise Redknapp and not specifically because it was her, but what was the other thing about Netflix? But yeah, I mean, he basically went in and he challenged all the people that had liked this story or laughed at the story or made positive
laugh emojis,
not positive, but those emojis for that, and to do that is a really good bit of journalism. Sorry, Sajeela, you were gonna.
No, I was going to say that it's interesting that they put down one of the ones who are laughing at this story, if you like, saying, go and do your homework. That's what these people do. They're pedos, they're this and they're that. It's like, no, mate, you do your homework. And for anybody who's listening in and thinks that this is okay for people to die simply for trying to seek a better life, we've got to understand that some of these countries, they're having that bad life because of foreign policies that our government has made. And in terms of refugees, especially from Syria, I've been to the border of Syria myself to deliver safe aid with a charity and spoken to women who've had PhDs and, been qualified, to those who are sort of, working class in their own country. They don't want to be outside of their country, but they've got no choice. They've had to leave because their partners have been killed. These women specifically had been raped repeatedly, their children, right in front of their children, some really horrible stories, which you cannot even imagine. And because you can't imagine, because people can't think of these awful atrocities that are happening because they're very comfortable in their own lives in a first world, they cannot empathize with what is going through these people's minds when they're crossing that border, when they're crossing the river, and it's, I don't know how you make people have a shred of humanity to say, look, no matter what you think these people's reasons are, do you think this is right, that people are dying to get away for something that is more horrible than what they're facing in front of them? So thank you for bringing that, Steve. Unfortunately, I don't think
it happens in a vacuum, though.
No,
I think it's nurtured somewhere, and that every front page of the Daily Mail for like 3 years was immigrants doing this, immigrant wave. We're going to be swept to, it's a great replacement theory and all that. That comes from somewhere. That comes from, helps someone politically. You know what I mean? To have ordinary people at odds with each other, saying, you think you're stupid because, you're awful or whatever. I think.
Well, it's the language that needs to change, isn't it? It's like it's very easy to have the refugee crisis, because you can blame the refugees when the government screws up, and when things are going wrong. It's like, oh, it's the refugees, or it's the others, the brown people, their fault why COVID is spreading. It's it's not just with the refugees. It's just anything that's othering. Then those in power can absolve themselves of blame. Caroline, do you? I know you find these things upsetting, and obviously they are upsetting. But do you have a kind of an insight into this, or something?
You want me to show the other side to what Steve thinks about this?
Yeah. No. I'm just saying that, what do you, I mean, obviously this is upsetting.
I actually do think it's quite funny. Yeah, I read the whole article, and I probably did my usual thing of like reading everybody's opinions. I actually read a lot of comment sections on this kind of thing, and I just sit there like my eyes popping out of my head at the things that people are saying, because I can't believe it's so alien to me, the idea of laughing at that story. And it's, again, it's just another example of facts getting mingled with untruths to such an extent that opinions become as valid as facts. Nothing seems to be verifiable because everybody's like determined at what they think is the truth. Like this guy thinks that all immigrants are pedophiles and murderers and rapists and things that are demonstrably just like false, and including stuff like that they're coming and taking all our jobs, where actually people who are claiming asylum are unable to work, so they're not taking our jobs, they're blocking our hospitals, they're doing this and that. It's all nonsense. But it's like with this sort of Trump era stuff where just if you keep repeating it enough times, it's as good as true, right? It's as good as true because people believe it, and it's all mud. The water is so muddy that nobody really knows what's true. And go and do your homework. Just make it up, isn't it?
Yeah, it used to be don't believe the tabloids. Now don't believe everything you read on social media. Basically, people's opinions are just that, people's opinions.
Yeah, like the lady with the lambs, she's just sheep. That's
sheeple.
Oh, let's talk about
people in the kitchen.
It's sheeple in her kitchen.
I thought
the law.
Small sheeple.
I thought.
Oh, do you know? I love the gun.
Right,
I hope
yeah, exactly.
that
Don't
next.
worry. I didn't want to not do this one because I mean it's just sort of quite breathtaking, really, isn't it? In it.
Unbelievable.
Let's have a look. Let's find Anthony. So Anthony Scaramucci, the press secretary for Donald Trump for about 10 days, I think. But obviously has been on a number of shows as the inside man. So yes, Anthony Scaramucci at Scaramucci. Let's well, this original tweet that he's quote tweeting. Do you want to take us through it, Caroline?
Thomas Massey, is he what? He's a Republican congressman
or
senator?
I think he's still running. I assume from what Scaramucci said, if you're running against this arsehole, please contact me and I'll give you dough. And I suppose that means at the next election.
I think he's a congressman, right?
Yeah.
And he's Republican.
Yeah.
Lovely, wholesome.
The greenest member of Congress, apparently. But anyway.
Yeah. Well done. So he says, "Merry Christmas." Tree emoticon. They're not called emoticons, are they? What are they called?
Emojis.
Yeah. P.S. Santa, please bring ammo. And there's his whole family with enormous, like sawn-off. Are these sawn-off shotguns?
It's like they've got the entire catalogue, haven't they? Really? I mean,
any kind of gun that you can buy at Argos, they've got it. Sitting there in front of a Christmas tree, so he's got like even a little girl next to him.
Well, she's must be about 15 or something. She's got like
maybe.
Then there's
she
assault
could be 12,
rifles, hunting rifles, and he's got something that Arnie would have quite happily used in the Terminator.
And they're all grinning, and it's their happy Christmas card. And isn't it that it's sort of a week after a school shooting in that kind of area as well, so it's an extra kind of kick in the teeth. These grinning idiots, his family, all with their weapons, and the tweet is "Merry Christmas, P.S. Santa, please bring ammo." I mean,
just like
he's ruined the surprise for Christmas, though. Are they going to get just more guns?
But Santa's going to be an intruder in their house, and he's going to be shot to pieces.
Their advent calendar. They open the window in an advent calendar. Oh, it's a bullet. Oh, next day. Oh, it's another bullet.
I mean, the Grinch has got nothing on this, has it? I mean, it was like stealing Christmas is nothing when you're going to get sort of Santa full of holes.
It's so outrageous that I almost just want to sort of think that somebody's superimposed those guns, that they were actually holding other things, nice things like gifts and presents and, crackers or something, and somebody's just removed them and photoshopped in these guns, because it just seems so unbelievable.
I saw quite a few people tweeting this picture, and then next to it, kind of, how do you say it? Oh, God, I haven't got any words. Excuse me. People in the Middle East with sawn-off shotguns, in training camps, kind of thing, and saying, what's the difference between these? And then, and so Scaramucci says, if you are running against this asshole, please contact me. I will give you dough. I
can't see his name though. Anthony Scaramucci. I've seen it before on CNN, and whenever he comes on, I think Scaramucci.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I just killed him.
Can't look at his name without saying, "Will you do the fandango?" Do you think he's ever done a fandango?
I think he has.
Do you think this family sent? Do you think if they sent out Christmas cards, this would have been on the front cover of it?
I think
Imagine getting that through your door.
That's what it looks like. I think that's what it is, Julian.
It's certainly what they've tweeted, and I assume that's what their image. Unless he's done an however you get it, whether it's through the door electronically, it's just like you'd move. It's like Jesus. Yeah. I didn't realise
they wouldn't be getting a Christmas card back if anybody said that to me. God, they'll be cut off my Christmas card list. But I don't think that's the first family.
I just take a photo of my family, just like in surrender mode, and send it back. Oh no! Great
choice of tweets there, guys. Really good.
I mean, imagine that's got to be the family that shoots together, stays together. Because if they have an argument around the Christmas table, it's like, how's that going to end? Oh dear! It's quite. It's quite amazing, isn't it? It's just like a jaw-dropping experience. Well,
and then obviously when you read the comments, there's people going, all the usual arguments about gun control, and how what are all these? I didn't see these ones.
I don't know. I think these might be for Scaramucci.
Oh, these are Scaramucci's comments. But people saying, after Dunblane in the UK, they outlawed guns, and then there's been no school shootings for 20 years, and then people go, oh yeah, but it's very stabby over there, isn't it? And the idea that where are all the school stabbings that we're supposed to be having? Where's the 38,000 people dying from stabbings? And then and someone said, well, it's much easier to kill a lot of people quickly with a gun than a knife. And then they're like, okay, then what about if you take some alcohol and a lighter, you could kill a lot of kids really quick. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. The arguments about gun control, it's just another incomprehensible thing. I'm
going to do a family photo. We're holding knives and saying "Merry Christmas, Santa," and we've all got knives, like a British version of
a British version, London version.
Yes,
oh God, I think
Santa, bring a lighter.
I know it's not comparable. I do think the knife crime situation in London is appalling. To be honest with you, and it's the knife crime situation in London is appalling.
Yeah,
I know.
But they're not.
But it's not. I'm not comparing it to the gun
shooting. They're not killing 38.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying that as an issue, it is appalling. I'm not likening it to gun crime. Well, you don't think? Yeah. I just think it should be,
Are you trying to make me say I think knife crime is good?
No, I'm not. I'm
not. I think that's what you were saying, Karen.
I don't think I was. I don't
stand by any of my opinions.
No, I remotely thought that you did say that, but I'm not
going to stand by that opinion.
No, but I certainly didn't think you said that. I just think it is useful to make the point. I like to make the point because it's something that. I read. There's a lot of nice crime, and you do see it on Twitter, and that's something that gets me down. I mean, I know we're not in the same league as America, and in terms of the fact that it's enshrined by law to carry a gun in America, and unfortunately, it seems that no administration is ever going to be able to sort of dismantle that to a point where it makes any sort of real difference, really. But anyway, but it's a good one to pick. It was a good one to pick. Well, I think we should we have something very fluffy to
Fluffy.
fluffy to sort of hang on. I feel like we should do one of Steve's to finish off.
We need a sorbet.
Well, this is kind of going. This is full circle because we started with Netflix and we're going to end with Netflix.
Yeah. This is no, I used to like Netflix, but then I kept getting messages of different logons from different places. And last one was Lisbon, Portugal. And why? Because I haven't been anywhere. I haven't been abroad in more than 2 years. Why is my Netflix logon in?
Oh, it's doing so well.
It turns out it was a former flatmate. My stepdaughter's flatmate. My stepdaughter moved to Amsterdam, and so when I got logons from South Holland, all right, fair enough, or South Netherlands, in Lisbon, Portugal, it turned out after investigation that it was a former flatmate of my stepdaughter. God knows where my Netflix. And the other thing is, my mum's moved in with us now, and we've run out of. You know, you get profiles on your Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Run out. I told her she's using my profile. It's just completely ruined it.
Oh, you're
I open up Netflix, it's just got a load of shite. Like, all the suggestions are shite. I'm Mabey and shite. I don't want to watch that. So I just can't even open it now.
We claim it from this Lisbon former flatmate of yours.
Yeah, Lisbon people are fine. They're not watching a load of shite like my mum.
Yeah, but reclaim that profile and then and take it on. Or give it
I changed the password. What, you mean I should change the password and not tell my mum?
Yeah.
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 No, but
so there's something wrong, it's broken.
Yeah, technical issue. Yeah, sorry. It's off.
Don't let your mum watch TV. She's had a good.
No, I know. At least when she's watching Netflix, she goes upstairs and watches it. And I can get, it's a bit of space in the kitchen. Anyway.
Lambs.
It's like that story where someone's gnome gets kidnapped and they send them postcards from all around the world or whatever.
Exactly. And the fact that I haven't gone anywhere in years only makes it worse.
Yeah, it's a bit galling, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But why don't you just do what I do? Like I travel via Netflix. This last year, I've got into telenovelas. I've done Colombia, Mexico, with all the things that I watch, France. All the French dramas. Brazil. You can just watch different things. Just travel that way.
Travel vicariously.
Vicariously, through them, yeah. And like the cookery programs, I love those as well.
It actually gets to the recipe.
Yeah, because they're better than the online nonsense. You can actually get to the recipe and fast forward.
Travel back in time. I watched the Beatles documentary, Get Back, and I've been in 1969. Then I got so involved in that, I came out and had an argument with everybody about creative differences, and I was standing my ground and everything. So it's so involving that. It was brilliant. It looked rubbish. I thought it was going to be the Ruttles, but it was really good. It's 4 hours of just chit chat and making brilliant records. I recommend that if you like the Beatles.
But yeah, my last holiday was Narcos, basically. So
Narnia.
Narcos.
Narcos.
Oh, sorry.
The
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Basically, I've been to Colombia vicariously, so it makes me want to go. Actually, weirdly, but
Colombia looks great, doesn't it?
Right.
I went to Hawaii for White Lotus.
Hawaii 5-0.
I thought we were going to say Hawaii 5-0 as well.
Yeah. A lot of crime in Hawaii, a lot of killings. There's killing every week in Honolulu.
Honolulu, yeah. Ooh, I love the little boat scene in the original. Do they still do that?
Oh, I love it.
And then the hair swinging. It's my favourite bit, Steve McGarrett with his head swinging. Do you like that bit? Look at just me on
holiday in Hawaii.
It is amazing. It is amazing when if you watch something sort of not a studio thing necessarily, but if you watch a show like sort of intensely and then maybe you rewatch it, it is weird how it can displace you. Because I had that feeling with The Wire, because it's always seemed to be shot in a very sort of winter sun in Baltimore. And if you get a day like that in the UK and you've just been watching loads of The Wire, it's just like, it's kind of really disorientating. But there you go. I need to get out more.
They do tours, don't they? You can go on it's quite popular to go on a Wire tour of Baltimore, or it was for a time anyway. to visit the locations and all that.
All the corners.
I think it was quite a big thing, a tourist thing.
Oh yeah, totally. I can well imagine that actually. Yeah. Right.
All English anyway, though, weren't they? All English.
That's so true.
I never knew. I didn't know. McNulty, Stringer Bell. I didn't know till after that they were. It was Dominic West and thingy.
Idris Elba, I know.
James Bond. Yeah.
Right. I should bring it to a close. Karen, what were you about to say?
Well, just that there was one nice thing for people to look at in their own time, that advent calendar, and it's my last tweet.
Oh yeah. Hang on.
It's a kind of good nostalgia, I think. So it's somebody based in I can't remember where.
It's in Scotland. I don't know. Yeah,
Scottish. Yeah, there we go.
You're woolly.
And every day he's posting. Look at this little guy.
So it's Your Willie, The Ghost of Christmas Past, Advent Calendar, Day 5, a boy in his cowboy outfit in Wales, 1962. It's very sweet.
Look how big his gun is, though. He's so little.
He's from that family.
He's from that family, yeah. He's
going to go inside and stand in front of the gas fire. All that's going to just melt.
Just melt the gun.
This was the last hours, his last few hours he was photographed before. And if you find that funny, I shall find you.
It does look like that gun is too big for that holster, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, how much is he carrying? He's carrying a few. He's got a pistol.
Look how much he skidded around on that road.
Yeah.
There was other photos to go with this, was there?
I think you do one every day.
Oh, look, they are beautiful, though. They love these moonlight photos. Oh, look at the Crimbo decoration. Is that Oxford Street? No.
Oh, there's a really good one of an amazingly tall. There it is. Look.
Wow. Leaning Tower of Man. Look, humongous.
17-foot snowman.
How on earth did they get to the top to build him?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, out the window, I presume. I don't know. Do you think so?
And he's leaning. I love that. Girl stands on their 17-foot snowman in Aberdeen.
And he's got legs. The snowman's got legs.
Yeah, he's got little feet sticking out from his long dress.
His long snow dress.
Wow, that's cool.
That's a lovely one. Lovely, little nostalgia.
That was June in Aberdeen.
yeah, that was the heat wave.
If it was Aberdeen, though, it should be being attacked by a killer seagull. That's all that's ever happened to me in Aberdeen, being attacked by.
Actually, I don't even think that's snow. I think that's one of those. You know those like the bouncy castle. You have those.
Oh yeah, the wind
figures. Yeah, the little they just like float around. That's why we.
I like that from Martin. Robert Wadlow in the snow, because Robert Wadlow is the tallest man.
Yeah, tallest man.
7 foot or something, I think.
Yeah, look, Martin knows his stuff.
Oh, he does.
Thanks, Martin, for all the
unpaid researcher, Martin.
Our super fan knows his stuff here.
So
there we go.
Yeah, no, totally. Thank you. Well, thanks, guys, very much. A very entertaining sort of selection of tweets there. As we say, light and shade. We did ask for light and shade, and we got light and shade. Brilliant stuff. So, look, what are you guys? I'm showing everyone your Twitter handles here at the Real Steve Day and at Caroline Maybe. What are you guys up to in the real world soon? Gigging and stuff.
I'm winding down now for Christmas. I've been touring with Gary Delaney, and he's doing so many gigs in so many places. It's been fantastic, but we've got a few weeks off, so I'm doing F4 for a bit and going to enjoy that. I'm going to spend some time at home, watch some YouTube videos. I'm doing a thing. I'm doing a fitness thing. I'm going to start a fitness. I don't know. I'm 57. I lost 4.5 stone in the lockdown, and I want to do something.
I think I found them, Steve.
Sorry?
I think I found your 4.5 stone.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I gave them to various people. And
sorry, carry on. Tell us about your new.
Well, a lot of people have been doing New Year's resolutions and stuff, and I just found a way of losing weight and keeping fit. It's not hard. It seemed to be hard anyway. So I can't do something with that. Maybe I don't know. And two Edinburgh shows. I've got a show about my dad. My dad died. He had dementia, and I wrote a show about it. And then I was going to do it last year again at Edinburgh, and it got postponed. So I'll do it this year. And another thing I'm working on, a disabled theme show. I'll announce in the new year, I think. It's me.
Okay. Wow. All
What's
right.
the show? Could you remind us what the show is called with your dad? Because I'd like to see that.
Sorry, I missed that. Sajeela,
What's
sorry.
the show called? One with your dad?
Oh, Adventures in Dementia.
Adventures in Dementia, which is a great title.
Brilliant.
And Caroline.
Me, I've got a few gigs, but I do my radio show. I tweet about my radio show once a week. Follow me, and it's on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock, and I play only songs with female vocalists. And it's been I've been doing it for about a year and a half, and it's just been really brilliant. I found loads of fabulous female artists I didn't know about before. And I call it Mabey's Lady Songs.
Mabey's Ladies. Mabey's Ladies.
So, and then on Sunday, I'm going to be in the radio station Panto.
Woo.
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. And I turned up to rehearsal last week, and it wasn't on. And it turns out I haven't been included in the WhatsApp group. So I didn't know it was cancelled. But because it's on the radio, I'll be able to read it.
What are you playing?
I'm a narrator.
What is the radio channel that you will be
it's
heard
called
on?
Riverside Radio. It's based out of Wandsworth in London. It's a lovely radio station.
So guys out there, please do support Caroline Mabey and Steve Day in their work and their future projects, and hopefully build on their CVs, their current CVs.
Any suggestions?
Yes, Julian's going to look at.
Oh yeah. Well, we've had a musical selection. Martin says Caroline plays some District 97. Don't know.
Okay, I don't know them. I will.
All right, there you go. You heard it here first, or such and such.
Thanks,
We'll make sure we retweet you on Tuesday then, before Tuesday.
Yes.
That's great, guys. Thank you very much. We'll just hang back while we sort of do all the sort of closing admin, and we'll see you in the green room as well. Sajeela, you've had the cottage gig. Is that your last for?
The last comedy cottage we've done, which was lovely and sold out. The next one is on the 28th of January with Patrick Monahan. But there will be other things coming up soon, which you can check on my Twitter timeline at Sajeela Kershi. Something on TV hopefully coming soon, but I shall let you know. But yeah, have a lovely Christmas, or if you aren't going to be tuning in again, I just realised we're nowhere near Christmas. We've got another 3 weeks. We've got another 3 weeks. There's me thinking, oh my God, I've got to prepare. But it's not. We've got another 3 weeks, and we've got someone next week. Who have we got next week, Julian?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. We have got a double bill of Nathan Caton and Matt Winning next week. So that will be super duper. Oh dear, hang on. I just seem to have disconnected myself. So I've just disconnected myself.
Do spread the word of LKT Zoom at LKT Zoom if you're following, or tell your friends to follow us on Twitter. Also, we live stream and we are on the YouTube. Is that right? Where we explain about how we love different dramas and stuff before we actually get to the meat of the show. Isn't that right? You have to fast forward it. It's just as cold back to anyone. Sorry.
Yeah, totally. That would be great if you could catch us on YouTube, or give us a subscribe, I should say, correct terminology. That'd be brilliant. All previous clips and shows are there, including the recording of tonight's, which I'm going to go off and edit ASAP. And obviously, please do follow us, as Sajeela said, at LKT Zoom. And we look forward to seeing you very much next week at 8 o'clock on Sunday with Matt Winning and Nathan Caton. Meanwhile, all it remains for us to do is wave goodbye to our streamers. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.